Thanks to our virtual view technology, it's going to look a lot like this. I'm standing in Curtis Hickson Waterfront Park in Tampa, where stormy skies are just going to rule the day in the next several days. We've got days of downpours that are going to elevate that flash flood threat. Now, one unique feature about Curtis Hickson Waterfront Park is it uses reclaimed water for irrigation. We'll have plenty of water coming down from the sky, so we won't be needing to water anything because Mother Nature will be doing that and maybe doing that a bit too much this week before all is said and done. Take a look at this forecast in terms of the rainfall that we could expect to see through Saturday. Tampa in the yellow here, that's about 3 to 5 inches south towards Sarasota, is starting to get maybe toward the double digits. Now, Tampa's actually a little bit below average this month for rainfall so far. So, we could use some of the rain, but when we're talking about maybe getting more than we typically see for the entire month, that's a lot. In Tampa, we usually get about 7 inches of rain for the entire month of June, and we could pick that up this week pretty easily. Heavy rain possible today. That's going to start to taper off as we head into the nighttime hours. Let's take a look at that forecast. Thunderstorms in the forecast today, tomorrow, Thursday, hit or miss Friday and Saturday. So at least maybe the frequency or the area that we're seeing covered by thunderstorms at any given time starts to come down a little bit Friday and Saturday, but it's still going to be a wet, stormy forecast. Now, this is where we really start to get concerned. When you're talking about Fort Myers, maybe a foot or a foot and a half of rain in such a short period of time, that is going to cause some problems. We're about 2 1/4 inches below average so far this month in terms of rainfall for Fort Myers. So we take 3 inches or so spread out, not a foot in a week. That's going to cause some problems. Now, what often happens for Fort Myers, Naples, Everglades City is when you have this southwesterly flow regime coming off that warm water, you get a lot more rain just kind of ringed out because you get the rain running off the water and into the land, and that helps the atmosphere squeeze out that rain. So heavy rain is going to add up for Southwest Florida, and we're just going to have rounds and rounds and rounds of it. Fort Myers storms in the forecast every day into the weekend. Again, that is all going to add up. At least the temperatures, though, low to mid 80s, so not as hot as it has been. From West Palm down through Miami, several inches expected. Miami, those storms remain in the forecast. Fort Lauderdale, though, I was actually really shocked by this, Molly. Fort Lauderdale is about 6.5 inches below average on rainfall so far this year. So they could definitely use the rain, but just not as much as we're going to see across South Florida.
The fact that we're going to make
so it's just not worth the risk. Now, for a lot of areas, we're actually looking at below average temperatures. And if you are enjoying, say, the 72 degrees, that's the forecast in Pittsburgh today, or the 73 in Detroit, get out and soak it up because changes are coming. You know it wouldn't last very long. We're going to see the warmth coming. You kind of see the hints of it here. You start to see it west, and then it continues to build in. So by tomorrow, Omaha 95 for you. Chicago, you're jumping from the upper 70s today to the lower 90s by tomorrow. Pittsburgh jumping up about 5-10 degrees as well. So we're seeing that warmth filling in. We've got those upper winds. Now they're bringing a dip of cooler air south today. So you're feeling not nearly as muggy. You're feeling those slightly below average temperatures as I was just showing you. Changes are coming, though. You know it's June. You know the heat's not going to stay gone for very long. We've got this high pressure, this dome of high pressure that has just been baking the west. Well, it's going to expand. It's going to expand north and east, and that is going to bring us our hot, humid, summer-like air. So for this week, today we've got about 46 million people above average as you're looking for the western portions of the country. That expands over the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes region by tomorrow, and then we see that stretching out all the way into New England, all the way up into Maine by Thursday. So we're really seeing a lot of people jump from below average to above average before all is said and done. That 95 in St. Louis, it's not going to just be 95. You've got to factor in the humidity, and it's going to feel even warmer than that. It's going to feel very summery. So that humid air, mainly across Texas, across the lower Mississippi Valley, we are going to see that expanding as we head through the week and intensifying. Places that are feeling comfortable right now are going to be feeling very, very summery and, in fact, a bit dangerous. When you're seeing the heat risk up to moderate and major for a lot of these areas, that means you got to think about staying inside and cooling yourself off before you spend, say, the afternoon on your run or something like that, Molly.
Just a little bit of a shower, right?
Yeah, just a little toasty here. You know, you don't want the severe weather, but when it's so hot, you might like it to cool down just a little bit. Minneapolis, La Crosse, Cedar Rapids, you've got that risk for some damaging winds, maybe a little bit of hail today. You can see this line of rain and storms moving through. We've got some rain in Minneapolis right now, International Falls. It's been raining for a while. Meanwhile, look at the 65 in Omaha currently. You're thoroughly in the thick of that warm sector of that low pressure system. So we're watching this first kind of pulse of energy, and then we're going to watch our next one that's going to move in. This cold front is going to sweep through, and it's going to be interacting with some toasty temperatures and lots of humidity. As that cold front moves along the northern edge of the very, very, very hot air, you're going to have some interaction, some moisture pulled northward. That is all going to come together to bring us the energy that we need to destabilize that atmosphere and get those thunderstorms going. Slightly higher risk for storms tomorrow, reaching severe limits with the damaging wind gusts, very large hail. We're going to have such a buoyant atmosphere tomorrow that large hail is certainly a good possibility with these storms that get going. You can see we've got torcons of 2 to 3, Minneapolis included in that. That's stretching across a big chunk of southern Minnesota. So here's our first round of rain today. A couple storms possible, but it's really tomorrow afternoon with that destabilization through the afternoon that we see those big storms bubbling up.